Welcome back, friends. This is Solomon Jagwe. I'm back with another insight and a quick tutorial. So today we're going to be talking about the Link VCAM, Link VCAM app that was recently updated by Epic Games. And if you've been following my channel, I did share this video right here. I did a test in the Unreal Engine 5. So today we're going to be testing inside of the Unreal Engine 4.26. But I received a number of comments in this video saying that several of you were not able or to connect to the VCAM or even get it to work at all. And sometimes it just didn't seem to work when you tried, multiple times. So we're going to try to do that today. And I'm going to use this scene right here that doesn't have the VCAM yet. And we're going to go through from the beginning. First, if you're new to my channel, I kindly ask that you spare a minute to subscribe and hit that notification bell once you finish subscribing, and consider becoming a patron so I can continue creating these tutorials. Thank you so much to the patrons. You guys, I truly appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And consider also buying some merch from my store. So let's get started with the tutorial. First things first, let's go look at the app itself. So this is my tablet, my iPad Pro, and I'm using the 2015 model. So it's been a while since I upgraded. I probably need to, but this is what I have for now. And I use this for illustration as well, and also sculpting in ZBrush and also in Blender. So we're gonna go over here and search for Live Link VCAM. Right, so this is the one that we're going to be looking at. And if I tap on the tablet, so we see more details, and if we click on more over here, you can see some of the new things that they've added. And so let's go through. And so if you haven't installed it yet, just go ahead and click install. Mine is already installed, so I just have to open it and go ahead and open it. All right, so this is my IP address over there, and that IP address has to match the IP address on your computer. This is very, very important. And the way you find your IP address, you simply go to, if you're on Windows 10, for example, click on your network down here, and then click on the network that you're connected to, and then click on the network again. And then under here, under the properties, is where you're going to find, like down below there, where you're going to find the IP address. Okay, so make sure that IP address matches the IP address on the iPad. Okay, we'll close that. And so whatever you do at this point, don't connect. Please don't connect, because I ran into that issue and it kept crashing on me. It does like a really hard crash. So hopefully by the time you watch this video, maybe something has been improved. Maybe there's a newer build. But for now, whatever you do, don't connect just yet until we are finished with the setting up inside of the Unreal Engine. So we'll go to the Unreal Engine. Here's the scene right here. And some of the things that you need to have, for example, you go to plugins, make sure Live Link is installed. Okay, make sure your Live Link is installed. So whatever you see here, make sure Live Link is installed and it's enabled. Okay, that's very, very important. Another thing that you have to have, and make sure you're in the all selection over here. Also look for virtual camera. Virtual camera. So make sure virtual camera is enabled. Let me go ahead and enable that. And it's going to ask you to restart. So let's say yes. So go ahead and restart this project real quick. Okay. And the restart usually takes a short while to come back. But depending on the speed of your machine, this might take a little bit of time. Okay. So make sure that, those plugins are installed and they're working properly. And let's go ahead and close that. All right, let me bring up the level that I'm going to be working with. And we need the live link to be up here. And let me go ahead and go to my levels. And it's the living room dream, that one. All right. So here's our environment that we're going to be working with. And let me turn off this camera because I need to be out of the way. And I'm also going to turn off a lot of these characters because I don't need them in this particular session. We're going to be focusing on this area right here. So let's turn off that camera as well. And this camera. Okay. So whichever place you want to start, okay, make sure that that's where you place your virtual camera. And the way you do that, go up here under virtual production. And what we need is the virtual camera 2 actor. And we're going to place it right here. And I'm going to press G to make sure that that's displayed and bring it up to the level you want. And then rotate it to face your subject. That's 90 degrees. And then move it over. All right, for starters. Okay. So this is our character that we're going to be focusing on. And this perspective is going to change as we adjust the camera itself. Okay. And for now, we can even change our camera lens maybe to be, the current focal length is 35. So for now, let's make it maybe like 15 millimeter so we can see a wider view of it. Okay. And I also, what I normally do is for the virtual camera, once it's there, I go to the VCAM over here under the details panel. If it's collapsed, make sure you extend this down so you can see it better. So that it has a blue mark right next to it. Go to that VCAM. So that is the one where you're gonna need to get all the settings from. But there's still a couple of things that we need to go and check. So first of all, go to the projects settings over here, go to rendering, okay, and scroll all the way down, look for the defaults tab, default settings tab over here, drop down, make sure you switch this to 8-bit RGB. It's important. Restart, we can restart later. Let's first fix everything. So make sure you switch that, and that's under the default settings, under rendering for in project settings. Okay, and then under go to UDP messaging over here. So the IP address that we're able to find in here on your network, that's the same IP address that you put in here. So they've already actually done it for you. There's a colon right here, but put in the IP address starting from here to the end. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my IP address. Let's first save all, and we'll just go ahead and exit. And then let's bring up our project again. All right, let's minimize all these things and let's open that living room again. All right, so we're back in our project. Let me go ahead and turn off again these characters and the things that I don't really need. So we need a virtual camera. We don't need a lot of these cameras here. Anyways. Okay, so select our virtual camera. Go into the settings over here and the VCAM. Okay, and over here, let's go to the source, go to message bus. So this is where the issues are, where we're having issues is that it wasn't connecting properly. And so it's extremely important that the IP address matches. So go back to the VCAM over here. So bring up the live link source, and then there it is. So as long as the IP address matches, your IP address on your desktop, it's gonna work. So if there's anything, if you don't see this message showing up, it's because there's a mismatch between the IP address on your tablet, the IP address in on your system over on this connection, and the IP address on under project settings. When you scroll all the way down and you go to UDP messaging, so the issue has been that the IP address might not match. So whatever is in here in the UDP messaging, the IP address has to match. And if it's correct, when you go to source over here to message, then the iPad will show up. And once the iPad shows up, then at least you know you're ready to connect. So click on that and it will show up in here. So now we can actually minimize this and go and select our virtual camera. Go to the details panel over here, select this, and you can click on enabled over here, and you can see it coming up over here. And then for the live link subject, we put my iPad as the source and scroll all the way down, and under output providers, make sure you select this again, drop down, and then click on output. Make sure it's active, so it will bring up the controls on the screen. And normally what I do is I change this to 1920 by 1080. So I'm shooting in HD. Okay, so you can make it higher or less. It's up to you, but I try to shoot in 1920 by 1080. And so at this point, if I go back here, okay, so before you connect, make sure that you've done these settings over here. And that's why for me it was crashing, that if I didn't set this up correctly before and try to connect, then it wouldn't work. So now that I'm ready, I can go to my iPad over here and I can press connect. And there, it's working. So you can see the simulation of on the screen over there. There's a slight delay, but I think you get the idea, is that now the tablet is being used as a camera. So one thing that is missing is, of course, the autofocus. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can enable that and tap on the character here. So those are the challenges that I've been having with the autofocus not working properly. And let's go ahead and close that out. So if I back out a bit, and so if the autofocus is not working, then I recommend you try the manual focus. Okay, so you can choose the manual focus. Okay, so now we have manual focus and we can see our character, and that's an awesome thing. And you can see I can turn the tablet this way and that way, and you can see the feedback on my tablet. So I can actually see it in real time and I can frame it. Now, if you have the newer iPad Pros that have the depth sensing camera, you'll be able to go in and out of the scene. Okay. So I'm backing up and then get close to the camera. All right, let's cancel this save so it doesn't mess things up. So guys, that's how you use your tablet as a camera, and it works really nicely. And we can actually go and look at other parts of the interface. And what's really cool also is that you can go, let's close this, but you can also go to the stabilization over here. And let me make sure this is a little bit bigger so we can see it a little bit more. All right, so under stabilization, so right now you see how it's kind of, there's a jerkiness going on. So I'm actually holding it with one hand. I can click in here and add stabilization for the translation, and then also do stabilization for the rotation. So now there's like a nice, like ease in, ease out kind of feel to it. So people don't get motion sick. Okay. So let's go ahead and close this part. And you can also remove the controls so that you can see more of that interface. And let me see if I can press F11. I think I need to be here. F11. All right. So there it is. I'm actually scooting back and forth in my chair so we get a sense of the movement. So I am all the way back, and actually you can hear my voice kind of fading. And now I'm coming forward towards the character right there. So you know what's interesting? And maybe, so here's what I thought. I honestly thought that you needed a depth sensing camera on your iPad to be able to go back and forth. But it looks like I'm using a 2015 model, the iPad, the 2015. So as I back away, and you can hear my voice receding, I'm actually walking away. Now let me stand and let me walk forward. And as I come, I can actually get close to the scene, to this character right here, and it goes out of focus. And all right. To really check it, I think I need to be on the ground right now. Okay. So the tablet is looking on the ground. And if I walk away, you see so that's tricky. All right. So I'm over here. Let me walk forward. And I think that's what I probably messed it up now. Okay. Let me move forward. I'm able to see, it shows that I'm close to the character, right? And the couch is right there. So if I walk backwards, so I think there's something happening there, guys. Is that when you have a real depth sensing camera, it works better when you get a better sense of being able to back up and come forward. So without it, this is a 2015 model, so I think that's why I'm experiencing that. When I use my iPhone 10, it works in real time where I'm actually able to get close to the character, and actually you can see the transition on the ground. So right now it's probably just compensating. But let me get back in my chair. Let me scoot forward. So did you see that? So I don't think that's true depth though. Like what it's doing is like, it's not doing exactly what I'm expecting it to do. So it's better to have a tablet that has a depth sensing camera. That's how you'll be able to, now I'm all the way out. Okay. Yeah. But overall, you can see how well it works as a camera and that you're able to use it to shoot your scenes. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. So again, the key of this was make sure that your IP addresses match up and that you have it in those three places, right? And I hope that was helpful, guys. And if you're having issues with connecting your iPad to the Unreal Engine, and I'm using 4.26.2. So the same thing would work in 4.27 and 5.0. So thank you so much for joining me today. This was again another quick test to check and see how the LiveLink VCAM app works with the Unreal Engine to turn your iPad into like a virtual camera. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Do please spare a minute to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and so you're alerted when I post a new video. And I hope you get to your tablet gets to connect like mine. And as you notice, if you don't have a true depth camera like mine doesn't. Mine is a 2015 model. You won't be able to do like true like Z depth translation, like within the space. Now it looks like it is doing it, but I think it's because just that's something that's compensating in the scene. You really need a camera that has a depth sensing camera to be able to translate in real time around. And let's look around the camera over here. I mean the environment, and there's a camera. So this is really, really cool. Again, thank you for joining me today, guys. See you next time with another insight. And dare to dream big. Do not give up on your dream, guys. Whatever you do, stay safe. Much love to everyone. And please be safe. Whatever you do, stay safe. Praying for you. Praying for you guys. Bye for now.